2, 1. Come on now.
It's on.
All right, people. This is your boy Mad Mike from Mad Mike Sports, Atlanta Falcons Nation, as well as Strictly Prohibited Network. But this is just all about the Atlanta Falcons Nation, and have a special guest. I don't even know if he's a guest, to be honest. He's a member of the Atlanta Falcons Nation, and I think he's probably one of the most well-known Falcons, former Atlanta Falcons players. The reason why I say that is because of 2016, this man burst on the scene. A lot of people in Atlanta knew this guy, but not a lot of Falcons fans knew who he was until 2016. Am I right?
That's right.
Did you really blow up around 2016? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Am I right?
mean,
You're right.
No doubt.
Come on, now.
No doubt.
No doubt. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because 2016, that Super Bowl run, I saw that motivational speaking. That motivational video, that hype video for the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm telling you, just from my standpoint, man, like this guy really moved me. Like, he made us feel like we were about to play, like we were in the game. I wanted to put on the helmet. I wanted to put on cleats. I wanted to put on my gear and play football.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
So,
I was ready.
Oh,
this guy. Another thing that I think it should go. It's about a team that, me being a Georgia Bulldogs fan, I don't know if I should talk about this, but since he's a guest on the show, we're going to talk about it. But he works for Tech. He works for Tech.
Oh, whatever.
and the guy next to him, Kevin below him, he is a proud Tech fan. I'm a Georgia fan, but with all that said, and can you please introduce yourself and I didn't know who you are, Mr. Moore?
Well, I want to first thank you all for having me. This is a real honor, and gosh, I've been looking forward to the hopping on and chopping it up with you and your awesome fan base. And again, I've been around Atlanta for now 20 plus years, 23, 24 years, and as a resident of South Georgia down in Albany, Georgia. That's right, I'm a South Georgia boy. And my wife and I and our 3 children, are here. They're all young adults now and graduating college. One went to Mississippi State and was actually a news anchor in Augusta. My oldest daughter and
I've seen a couple of videos for that. Yeah.
Yeah. My youngest daughter is at the University of Georgia.
You know what? No, you know what? We can come on here and throw the shade. We're here for it today.
But you know what?
Georgia.
We consider her to be the black sheep of the family.
Oh, it's okay. She made the right decision.
That's okay. We're gonna keep her though. We're gonna keep her. But and then I have
wow, you gonna keep her?
Wow. But I have a son that graduated a couple of years ago from Kennesaw State, and so we love everything about the ATL, and certainly I've been able to be a part of the vibe and the scene in Atlanta. And certainly one of the greatest cities in the world. And for so many reasons, it is just an incredible place to live with some of the most talented people on the planet. So again, thank you guys for having me on the show tonight.
Thank you. It's an honor, actually. Like, you are legendary to me because that, like we said, that was just, I mean, you're on the likes of Jermaine Dupri and all those, every motivation. Like, Atlanta Falcons does a great job with hyping us with the Rise Up chants and the videos, and then your videos. It's just like we get so ready and pumped But I guess, unfortunately, this year it's going to probably be in the living room being pumped. But nonetheless, we excited. But, it's an honor for you to be here, though.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. And this is kind of going into where you grew up. You mentioned that you was born and raised in Albany, Georgia, from you're a South Georgia boy. What kind of inspired you growing up, and like, what did you want to be besides a football player? Like, I want to know, like, the real person. I want to know Derrick Moore. Like, who is Derrick Moore? What did Derrick Moore want to be besides a football player?
Well, I don't get asked that question every day. I really, sports has always been a big part of my experience in my life. My mother, I was raised, I'm not suggesting this is unfamiliar with your listeners or your viewers. I was raised in a single parent home, and my mom, took the reins and championed raising 3 children, and certainly to be an African-American mother and to have been given the task of having to raise 3 children independently of a father in the home was not an easy task. And to watch her do the things she did, work the way she did, but led with just unbelievable character. And as a result of that, it inspired me. My mother was and still is my number one inspiration because of the responsibilities she had to embrace and kept us on track to become something.
Oh, yes.
And I can't say enough about her inspiration. My mom was a talker. I think I got that honestly.
Yeah, we can say that. We can definitely say that.
She's a talker, man. And I think, I adopted that from her. And I remember going to, I was in the 10th grade and remember going to an event, and I saw a speaker come to a podium, and the gentleman came and gave this incredible presentation. I was spellbound. I mean, just locked in.
Wow.
And I said to myself, I want to do that one day. I want to be able to command an audience, be able to hold a speech, not look at any notes, be able to bring people to the edge of their seat, pull them back, be able to create emotions in them, get them to laugh, get them to cry, get them to get excited, get them to sit back. That one experience really just bona fide in me that I wanted to be a keynote speaker, a presenter, a motivational speaker. I've always had that in my view, and as a result, I was able to at least get a chance to touch it. So that's sort of what inspired my mother and my desire to really be a keynote presenter.
Awesome, that's amazing. There's nothing like that mother's love. Like, I have 4. And look, I'm their motivation, their rock. For some time, it was just me. I have a son that has a disability. So it's hard work trying to work and take care of children and just raise them right in this, the society right about now. That strength, and for you to get that from your mother and to carry that on that's beautiful to me. That's honestly beautiful. Always honor your mother. Always honor your parents. I'm thankful that I always had both of mine, so it's an honor. It's definitely an honor.
Yeah. Well, I actually, I have a book called Raise 'Em Up, which is dedicated to my mother. It's how a single mother raising, a black teen, a black young man, and how she was able to achieve it. So that's one of the books I've written also called Raise 'Em Up. So we're excited about that as well.
Okay, Raise them up. I'm gonna look for that and drop the link. Is that on Amazon?
That is on Amazon, yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
I about to say, I want to know what was your inspiration when you made that speech? Because I know you had me crying. I ain't even going to lie.
Wow.
Try to take us to the promised land with that one.
Well, If you're speaking of the Falcon videos,
yeah, they're just the speech itself, man.
wow.
Yes.
Well, the Falcons again. The whole birth of that was just spectacular, and the fact that they was looking for someone to really help with fan engagement and to really bring us up close on the experience. And fortunately, I was in on the year that the team was just doing incredible things and got on this run, and I joined them right when they got to the precipice of the playoffs. And did those 4 videos that was a part of getting our fans hyped and excited about what we were on a journey to accomplish. And of course, we fell a little short. Every time I think about it, I want to cry. But
yeah, that's an unmentionable time.
It's brutal. And the final video, we did after the post Super Bowl video was the most difficult one to do, and certainly. That one just ripped my guts out doing it. I mean, they really have to come up with the emotions for it was very difficult, but nonetheless, we got it done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Moore. I want to know what was it like playing with.
Just one second, Jude.
Go ahead.
1 second, Jude.
Go ahead.
Just 1 second. We gotta talk about that Super Bowl. I'm sorry. We're gonna get to that one, but I have to get this because I've been waiting to hear his. Like I said, I had to answer this question. All right, I want your true and honest opinions on Mr. Kyle Shanahan. Please tell me what you truly think about Mr. Kyle Shanahan. That series of calls. I'm sorry, that series of calls. What you think about that?
I've been around sports a long time, man. And whether I've been a fan or a player, and we might need to go off air to have this conversation.
We do. That sounds we need to go off air to have that conversation.
Yeah. You gonna have me say some stuff I don't need to be saying.
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, whatever you want to, Mr. Moore.
I'm sorry. I had to put him on the spot for that one. Like that Super Bowl still got me in my feelings about it. So I wanted to get someone who was relatively an insider when it comes down to the Atlanta Falcons. You know some stuff that a regular person doesn't know, and like I said, I had to.
It's sad that we played so well for the, my goodness, man, 3.5, 3 quarters plus. The team was absolutely amazing against one of the greatest quarterback, arguably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game in Tom Brady, and certainly we found ourselves in quite a situation with them scoring offensively and getting back in the game. I thought the game turned when if we run the football, if we run the football, kill the clock, I think certainly we would have, and I know it's hindsight's 20/20 and all of those things, and in the moment you don't nearly know what an OC is going through. And you got to give him at least some respect for him being the one that's got to make those calls. Now, he gets paid a lot of money to make those calls. But nevertheless, when you're in his shoes, that's a different animal. But certainly, if you poll most people that's in the business, we'd like to have that back and give that ball to that running back and kill that clock. You've got one of the best field goal kickers in the game that could get us 3 points, and certainly don't give Brady a chance to get back on the field, put him in an impossible situation to win the game. And I think we didn't get a chance to put him in an impossible situation by not putting the ball on the ground and killing the clock.
Hey.
Right there already. See, we right there. That's what everybody was thinking right there.
Well, Mr. Moore, I want to know what it was like playing with the likes of Deion Sanders, and Barry Sanders. Deion Sanders is my favorite Falcon of all time, favorite player in the NFL of all time. So tell me what it was like playing with those two greats, Hall of Famers.
Prime time.
There you go.
Y'all could be all night talking about those guys. Deion and Barry. It's amazing that both Sanders. Which is pretty interesting. But Deion, when I got to Atlanta and became a Falcon, of course, you think about the greatest players in the world. You get the locker room with, you get to share space with. And I remember watching Deion come into the locker room, and he surely is prime time now. You know it's him when he's coming. And certainly when he gets to the field, you recognize a skill set that only God could have given someone. And certainly he worked on his craft, and certainly was an incredible worker, but he had some things that you just couldn't coach. You can't coach 4-2, 4-2-1, 4-2-5. You get out of the bed. He could get out of the bed and do that, but you never really knew how fast he was, because Deion, he never seemed to be at full speed. You always knew he could run as fast as he wanted to run, and unfortunately, that was faster than anybody on the field. And but if you want to consider what a true shutdown corner was, Primetime was a true shutdown corner. You didn't want to challenge him. You didn't want to go that way. And he'll bait you into doing it too. He loved baiting you into coming there, because he knew he had the skill set to react to a ball faster than most people, and he'll ruin your day, man. He would ruin your day. So, and then he could go back on punt return. He could take a punt. Now, he catch that punt in space. You've got a lot of problems now on your hand. So he was an electric talent. I consider him the greatest cornerback to ever play the game. That's my opinion. That's my story. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to die with it.
Okay.
But he is, to me, the greatest corner ever play. Yes. Barry Sanders, to me, the greatest running back to ever play. I felt like what Barry Sanders was, you could not coach it. You had no way of explaining how he could torque his body and do the things he could do. He was like, someone said, describe him for me. I said, I'm a Southern country boy down from South Georgia, and I know what it's like to try and catch a chicken. And Barry Sanders was like trying to catch a chicken in the yard. He's over here and he's over there and he's over there. And he's over there.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
You couldn't get your hands on it.
Hey, my mom was from Alabama. I know.
I got Alabama roots too.
I know exactly what you mean.
You couldn't catch him, man. He was electric. I've seen him make runs that you would think I was lying about it and making it up. But, Barry Sanders goes down in my book as the greatest running back ever. And I feel like I got the opportunity to play with the two greatest players in their respective positions on the highest level. They were unbelievable. There is no other way to describe it. And you know what? They both did more unbelievable things in practice that you never saw than they did in games.
Wow.
That is scary.
Wow. So would you say that was the greatest threat? We have a question from Caden. Who was the greatest threat at running back when you played in the NFL, in your opinion?
The greatest threat?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best running back?
Yes.
Well, I got to play with a lot of great ones, that's for sure. But again, it's hard for me to get away from 20. I would call him 20. Is all I would call him. When I went to Carolina, I would call him 20. When I went to Carolina and I was a starter in Carolina, and I went there and I wore 20 in honor of Barry Sanders there in Carolina.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And for a lot of reasons, these guys weren't just great superstar talents. They were great human beings too, and they are still great human beings. They were unbelievable people that really took me under their wing and basically was mentored me and encouraged me. Those guys were incredible.
Okay. We have our next question. What was your experience with the expansion of the Carolina Panthers in 1995? What was that experience like for you?
Oh, wow. Gosh, that was a really, really bizarre time in a lot of ways. we didn't have we weren't in Charlotte. We weren't in Charlotte where the organization resides today. It was an expansion organization. And so we would commute from Rock Hill, South Carolina, where we had our headquarters and practices, to Clemson, South Carolina, where at Memorial Stadium, where we played our games on Sunday. So we played in Death Valley over in Clemson on Sundays, and the season for an expansion team, we won 7 games that first year. I joined the team actually the second week of the season. I was in San Francisco with the 49ers prior to that, and then came over to they were looking for a running back. They didn't have a running game, and they brought me over. And by the second week, my first start was the second week of the season in the Georgia Dome against the Falcons.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Hey.
Ironic. Yeah.
You got God written all over you, man.
That's right. That's right.
Destiny.
It was awesome.
Destiny.
We
All
have
right,
one
just
question
destiny.
in the audience. We have one question from Positive Love Thinking. We just go back to your college and pro days. What is one of your greatest memories when playing football, college, and pro?
Oh, wow. Greatest college memories. I remember as playing ball, I didn't realize just how much I had as an athlete. I was a late bloomer. I've said that to some people on some previous programs, that most of my development came late. I always say the kids out there that if you're not where someone else on your team may be, it doesn't mean you won't eventually get there. You just have to keep working. You have to keep pouring your sweat equity into it, because you can develop over time with a lot of hard work. And that was the case for me. And I remember making a long run in a big ball game, about an 80-yard run. I never knew that I had that kind of speed, in a uniform, and I could outrun angles and I could power past people. And I made a run like that in a ball game. And I realized that was a really special moment for me. And basically realized what I had. And that was one of the most memorable moments, because from that moment on, it would propel me on to the National Football League, because my confidence just went through the roof. That's what happened. And I get to the NFL, my pro, experience. And again, boy, I hate to keep harping on Barry Sanders. I had my own starting job in Carolina. Was really a wonderful experience, because I was drafted by the Falcons in the 8th round. It was 12 rounds back then. I was projected first rounder. I slipped all the way to the 8th round, and it was very disappointing, and I was really dejected over it. But you get knocked off your horse, you get back on it, and you get back in the game, and you ride it again until you can conquer it. So I became a starter in Carolina, and that was a long journey from being an 8th round draft pick to the Falcons way back then, to actually 4 years later, I would have my own gig after backing Barry Sanders up for 3 years in Detroit. So for me, the most memorable and special experience was finally arriving in the place I wanted to be, that I wasn't on draft day.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. We have another one, Kevin.
Says you're still a chaplain at Georgia Tech. But what made you want to go down that road?
I've always found inspiration, and depending on how you define that, man, I tell folks everywhere I go, I believe in a good old prayer every day. I don't have no bones about knowing where my strength come from. I didn't get those abilities from anywhere. And I found that source of strength was important enough to me. It impacted my life in college big time. When the team chaplain for our football team was a real inspiration to me, and certainly set a high standard on how you do things and why you do things. And so that became a major part of the fabric of who I was. And I said, if I get a chance to go back to a college campus, I like to go back in that capacity where I have a chance to impact people, not only for this life, but for the one to come. And I felt like that was a a big influence in my life. So I wanted to give back something that was given to me, and that has been the difference maker in the person that I've become.
Okay, and we have a question in the comments. What advice would you give rookies starting this football season?
Hold on.
That's all you can do is hold on.
Hold on. It is, as they've been saying everywhere, it's unprecedented what's happening in our society with this COVID situation. And, it's as different as it's ever been, and probably won't ever be this different again. But for a young rookie coming into the NFL, first and foremost, you ought to give yourself an applause for getting to the NFL. Yes. and being someone that gets to be a part of one of those great 32 great organizations. You get to earn an unbelievable living in most cases. And I think the biggest thing is just, get behind the leaders, the veterans, find your pace and your space through watching how they do things. A lot of times we can come in and we want to conquer the world on day one, and we don't want to follow anybody. We feel sometimes we're better than somebody else, but you gotta wait your time. You gotta earn your stripes. Respect's gotta be earned. It's not something given to you. So if you do that, and in these strange times, things are gonna look not quite like they would look. So you got to adapt to that. So it's going to be a major learning curve for those rookies. So come with the mindset to learn as much as you can.
And this kind of leading into what you kind of touched on already. What is your opinion on the players opting out, and do you see a season happening?
Wow, players opting out of the season. Well, everyone, I believe, has their own comfort zone. And who am I to say what is comfortable for one player that may not be comfortable for another? And not knowing their personal situations either. There are some things that, unfortunately, hello, you don't get to know everything there is about everybody. I say that to people all the time. Sometimes we think we're supposed to know everything there is to know about everything.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case. Those guys have personal, private lives, and they have wives, they have sons and daughters and children, they have families, and the conversations they're having in their homes is privy to them. We hear the results, but we don't hear what leads up to those results. And that said, I have to step back and respect anybody who decides on opting out of a season for their own reasons. It's not my business, and you support them, because I don't have, the information they have. And so I respect all of those decisions. I really do. And I think the other one was, are we going to have a season?
Yes.
I think we are going to have a season. I think the question is how long will we get through a season? And can we get to we're going to get to the starting line. The question is how do we finish it? Can we get to the finish line?
Correct.
That's what I'm most interested in seeing, with all the protocols and all the things that are in place. We have enough in place to get started. The question is going to become, do we have enough in place to finish it?
I want to say it's going to be interesting with the rooks too, with no preseason, and they're changing the protocol of training camps, and how will it affect the rookies? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean they don't get the all that repetition is important, and they've already missed the OTA experience and all of those things, being around their teammates, learning the system, getting the reps. And as a rookie, particularly, let's face it, you're a first rounder, you're a top round guy. You're probably going to get more opportunities than someone that's drafted in the 5th round or a free agent. So for the guys that are free agents and are further down the chain on the draft pool, those guys I'm really concerned about because you don't get as much opportunity as you normally would get. Now the NFL is expanding on that level, their practice squad numbers. So they're going to retain more people than they typically retain. So that's going to give some guys some comfort that they're going to have a fair chance to make the squad and be a part of it. So it's going to be, I say, hold on, it's going to be a doozy.
We have Rodney saying a shout out to the fellow tornado from South Georgia, Monroe High.
Oh, wow.
Wow, golden tornado.
He had to bring that one up.
And do you feel the fans should be allowed to attend games even though the amount will be limited?
Wow. Allowed to attend?
We got some questions for you today, man.
Man, I'm telling you.
Who wants to be a billionaire?
If they're playing games, and again, if you're opening up your stadium and you're providing an opportunities for fans to come, again, that's the choice of a fan to attend. No one's forcing anyone to go. I certainly think those are decisions every person, an individual, will have the opportunity to make, and they're comfortable enough to open up their places to invite fans and use enough intelligence to determine how much of a risk it is. So I know they've assessed that in advance, but at the end of the day, it still comes down to fans' comfort level in going. So I definitely think that fans would at some juncture, I think they will be allowed.
Okay.
I can dig.
Kind of got a question from my own personal question as far as the what about the NFL game that fans really, as far as because we know football is a contact sport and it's 16 games. How difficult is it to really make it throughout the season, and does COVID really add to the issues, as far as the football player is concerned? Does that make you uncomfortable as far as the rigors, the football games, and it going 16 games and then having COVID, COVID, adding to that? Does that, from a player standpoint, worry you or bother you in some way?
Yeah, the NFL season, if you're speaking of the NFL and not necessarily the collegiate game, the NFL is equivalent to 2 college seasons in 1 year. I'm very happy they've eliminated preseason for this experience, but it's still a long season, and it's a long time to be exposed. And so we've got to hope that the protocols in place are going to be enough to provide the comfort level that players need, because football is about being focused. It's about concentrated efforts. And when you have distractions, and COVID is a major distraction and certainly an enormous challenge, and really the greatest opponent every team will face this season is COVID-19. That's the opponent in reality. And really, who can manage that the best is probably going to have more success, because that distraction alone is enormous. And it will be difficult. It's going to be extremely difficult, particularly if cases arise. How do we manage those? Who's exposed to it? So it's a challenge they've never faced. Let's face it. The Patriots have played the Falcons, and the Falcons have played the Patriots. They have never faced COVID.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
Exactly.
We have a question from one of the commenters here. Which rookie this year excites you the most, and what would you tell the rookies going into the season? Well, you kind of touched on the rookie part, but which rookie does excite you the most?
There are a lot of there are a lot of great rookies that's coming into the league, and I would, to select any of them would be, all of them are amazing to be able to get there and do that. But I'm Chase Young from Ohio State's a friend of mine, and I'm a fan of Chase's also. And I tell you, he's an extraordinary freak of nature at 6'5" or so and 270 pounds, and can run like he can and can pass rush with his skill set. I think the Redskins have Washington has got a great player in Chase Young. I certainly think he's got long-term big-time upside. He's got a chance to be a really special one at that premium position of pass rusher. So I think keep an eye on Chase Young. I think he'll be a special talent.
Okay, like Falcons drafted free agents Jared Pickney, wide receiver Chris Rowland, they hopefully should make the team. It's just a comment. I'm just reading the comment. So it's really not a question, just basically a statement.
Are they? And these guys are free agents?
Yes.
Chris Rowland? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, well, free agents, road is difficult. It's not an easy road for a free agent. It certainly is a daunting task, but it's happened. It happens every year. It happens every season where free agents come into the league and they make the team and they're on the roster. And so these guys will have an opportunity to do that, so no doubt it's an uphill climb, but certainly you never know how rosters are going to shape out when it comes to opportunity, performance, injuries, all of those things. Even economics play a role. So you never know how it shapes out. You just got to stay alive every day, meaning stay involved and engage and make the most of every rep you get.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one.
You got a question?
I got a quick question for you. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty. So how do you see the NFC South playing out this season? Who you think going to win the NFC South? I just got to hear from them. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Well, I know who better win the NFC South.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Got your white colors on. Yeah.
Let them know.
We're built to win it. We are built to win it.
Oh, yes.
We've got personnel.
I like the draft pick this year.
The Falcons don't have a lack of personnel and talent. We're built to win the thing. Now, you've got to deal with that guy in New Orleans and that guy in Tampa now.
I'm not worried about that guy in Tampa.
So that's going to be a challenge. We know it, but we're built to do it. We've faced those guys before, and we've had success against them. They've had success against us. I felt like the way the Falcons finished the season, I don't believe you carried last season into next season. I don't believe they are so far removed from each other that you can't think next season is going to be great because of something happening last season, but it does do something. But there is a psychological advantage to it that they've shown that they can put it together and be successful. We've got a tough schedule. It opens tough, but this team can handle it. I really think the Falcons can come in there and win that thing. It won't be easy, but I'm hanging my hat on the Falcons legitimately winning it.
Oh, yes. Look, they're getting motivated in the comments. Look, I'm ready this season. I'm just ready for somebody to get on the field. I'm so tired of not having a season.
That's right.
I'm going through withdrawals.
When you asked me, I was telling them, in brotherhood, we trust.
Yes, sir. I almost jumped out of my seat there for a second.
That is motivation. I do hope you do some more. We do need some hype and some motivation because with this COVID thing, it's dampering a lot of spirit. So just for them peak players to kind of get on the field and just like, look, we still got a purpose. We're still here. We're still playing.
Absolutely.
I think they need that motivation.
I'm sure we're going to be doing something. So be on the watch out for it.
I got a question too. I'm about to say, who you think which Falcon player has the most to prove this year?
Ooh, man. Ooh. Well, I'll answer it like this. We got rid
That's
of
a good one.
Oh, wow.
We got rid of it.
Wow, you really went there. Wow.
Man,
I'm saying this because I brought Chuck Smith on the show. I don't know if you had a chance to see the video, but that's the reason why I actually asked him to come on to talk about Vic Beasley. Is that the guy? Is that the guy?
And you said it, I didn't. You
Got him.
Hey, see, I knew it.
shots fired. Shots fired.
Hey,
Well,
yeah,
hey, you know, you want to
I
be
knew
a
that
diva.
was he was going.
Take what you can get, Beasley.
That's right. No doubt. So I think that's probably the best answer I can give you. You know, we've had trouble getting to the quarterback. We have got to get a pass rush, a consistent, dominant pass rush. And so if we can fix that part of our game, that's going to help our back end. We've got some different personnel in the back end that's going to need that support. You know, Grady can't do it all. You know, we're going to need 2 or 3 hands up front that can get to the quarterback. And if you can't get to Drew Brees and Tom Brady, you've got problems.
Oh, yeah.
So that sounds like Marlon Davidson gonna have to really be the one to step up.
Let's go get it.
You gotta eat.
That's right.
One question about
Come on,
tack.
Mike, what you got?
One question. And this is kind of this is not necessarily this really isn't necessarily on the football field. This is more of tack and his emotional, like he's an emotional guy. If you were to let's just say the Falcons need Mr. Blank needed you to speak to Tack McKinley, what would you say to Tack as far as handling his emotions? Like really, he's had some issues. We don't know if it was, you know, these are true, but from what we know, from what we understand, the rumors are saying, if these were true, how would you speak to Tack McKinley?
In terms of on the field?
Kind of off the field, his emotional state.
Off the field.
Okay. Well, you know, I think it's important to give people space to have conversations, you know, that in most cases they won't have. They won't do it publicly. They won't because you until you can get to know someone, you know, intricately, you can't really define why someone is the way they are. Mm-hmm. So we've got to get to the root of the problem, the root of the situation. Most importantly, because all we see is surface level stuff. You see the reaction. You see the actions taken. We see the pain it's caused, or we hear the comment, or we read about the story. You know, that's the stuff on the top. But you know, the iceberg has got problems underneath the water. You know, it's massive underneath the water, and we've got to go underneath to try and understand what's going on here, so that we can provide him with the best care that he needs and give him the best information he needs, so that he can process his way through it. So I think we've got to be more patient with people, no doubt, because listen, to be a pro football player, to be in the spotlight, to have expectations on you, to hear what people are writing and reading about, to hear what news reporters are saying and sports reporters are saying, you know, to have to live up to expectations. And if you're not meeting them, then you're getting critiqued incredibly. You know, that's a lot. And so we've got to help them or help him understand how to manage those things more professionally. That's for sure.
I got one for you too. So what's your expectations of Todd Gurley this year?
Woo, man. I tell you this, man, you know, the question has been, you know, what does he have left, you know, and with the knee concerns, and, you know, what does the Rams know, what the Rams know that we don't know. I don't know if these are suggestions, but Todd's an unbelievable talent. I mean, he's a stud daddy now, running back. If Todd is back to form, look out, man. We couldn't run the football last season. We couldn't run it.
Right.
You know, I know the offensive line had a lot to do with that, but if we can get Todd going, man, I'm telling you, we may have stolen one from the Rams, and that could propel us on to the next level. I think he is a phenomenal talent. I just hope he's healthy enough to be able to hold up, and they can. And then the Falcons have got to do a great job of managing his pitch count, so to speak. You know, we don't want to wear him down and wear him out, but we do want to give him as much as we can give him. Old Bum Phillips used to say when people asked him why does he give Earl Campbell the ball so much and ride him so much? And Bum Phillips said, "Hey man, when you got a big horse, you ride it." That's what you
You got that right.
So we want to ride Todd, but we don't want to wear him out, and let's see how much he can take. But listen, he's still talented. You can't take his talent from him. He can do what he can do. The question is can he physically hold up, and how well will the Falcons manage him?
I got one for you, Mr. Moore. So tell me, what do you feel about Matt Ryan? Do you think Matt Ryan is a top 10 quarterback? Like, where do you rank Matt Ryan in the league compared to other quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks? Do you think Matt Ryan's an elite quarterback, or where do you rank Matt Ryan?
Well, listen, Matt Ryan is an elite quarterback in my book. Again, that's my opinion. I mean, he's led this team to a Super Bowl, on the cusp of winning one.
I need you to say that again. Say that again. He's elite. Everybody can hear that. Matt Ryan is elite.
There's no
Get that
doubt.
right.
You know, take it from somebody who's played in the NFL with quarterbacks that were not elite. I know elite from not being elite. Okay, and so Matt Ryan is an elite level quarterback, and you don't throw for 4,000 yards on average probably in a season the way he does, and sometimes in most recent years he's done it with very suspect protection, and so this guy doesn't get, I believe, the national credit he deserves, and sometimes he doesn't get it in his own backyard. So, but I can tell you this: I'd rather have Matt Ryan than some other people. And you tell me who you're gonna put in at center if you take him out. You know,
all right.
Go find me a quarterback, because I'm telling you right now, they don't grow on trees. I'm telling you, they don't. And when you got one, you better appreciate him. The man got us to the Super Bowl. We've been in the playoffs consistently. Listen, get off Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a baller, and let's get this thing done. Hey, we got to keep giving him the
rise up,
but get this thing done. Yeah.
Hey, we need to bring the Dirty Birds back, boy.
Ooh, oh yes. We need that hype again, I tell you, because the city needs to be electrified. It's been a while. We need those parades again. We need to bring all of that back. We need to stand behind our quarterback.
It was on fire. It was on fire. I mean, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back.
So
rise up.
So how do you feel about the NFL top 100 and him not being on that list?
That's the comeback question right there.
That's a comeback.
Yes.
Well, you know, unfortunately, you've got writers and people who have their biases, and they have their view of what they think, a quarterback is or isn't, or a player is or isn't. But at the end of the day, once again, he can't control that, and we can't control that. And I think the knock on him is going to be, which has been for most quarterbacks, is winning a Super Bowl. I think it's almost as if he's at the place where he should be, but it's as if they're waiting for him to do the one extraordinary thing that they consider the great ones to do, and that is to win the thing. And so I think he'll keep getting that pushback. I mean, listen, Dan Marino never won one, and Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. So,
Right.
and I hope Matt can win one, but I don't think that takes away from what Matt Ryan has been for the Falcons. He's been an incredible quarterback for us.
So quick follow-up. So you saying that he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Say again now?
I said, so you saying that Matt Ryan is a future Hall of Famer? Go ahead and let him know.
I absolutely think. Listen,
Let him know.
There are lesser people in the Hall than Matt Ryan.
Okay. That's all I had to hear. That's all I had to hear.
Ooh, I like that. How is Dak and Cousins on and not ice?
The only thing he's missing from his resume is the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That's it. I've been saying this. I've been saying this. I've been saying this. Oh my God. See, that's what I'm talking. You just gave me the motivation that I need to keep talking. I just need to keep talking and saying what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm about to say he still got time.
We're a couple of running plays away from him having that. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Look, this could be the year. You never know. Look, we got some beef on that team right about now. I've been excited about the draft picks and everything, even though one of them on the reserve list. But hey, it's okay, Rooks. But I think we got a nice little thing going on. I think they did a great job in the free agency and draft and everything.
No doubt.
That's my opinion.
No doubt. I agree with you totally. I do. Yeah.
I think they just had to change that mentality a little bit, get a little bit more nasty.
It's going to be interesting going forward. That's for sure. I can't wait for this season, even though this is a weird season we're going to go into. But I certainly think that we made big strides, I thought, in free agency and through the draft to address some of the things that we've needed to fix. And hopefully, cross our fingers, we fixed them.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody said Dan Fouts and Warren Moon never won a Super Bowl either. And they in the Hall.
That's true.
That's true.
Case in point.
Fact.
No doubt. No doubt.
Wow.
I got one more question for you, Mr. Moore. So I've been pushing on my channel, and you're a former NFL player, so you had a credibility to say this. I believe with the Falcons keeping Dan Quinn and us keeping our coaching staff together without us having a preseason and without us having all of the things for the rookies, I really think the Falcons have a leg up on a lot of the teams that have first-year head coaches. And also with Tom Brady coming over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I feel that we have the leg up on those guys. What do you feel about that? Do you think continuity matters in the NFL?
Yeah, well, it matters. It matters big time. Team chemistry. Quarterbacks need to know their receivers. Receivers need to know their quarterbacks. And then when you talk about a coaching staff, you don't want to keep having different OCs and DCs. It's a swinging door and people are going in and out the door. I certainly think that, again, Arthur and Dimitroff and all of these, the leadership executive team for the Falcons, they got it right, because you're absolutely correct. With this pandemic no one saw coming and how that has changed the landscape on how you prepare for a season, I'm thrilled that our people are intact. I'm thrilled, that we've got the same ownership, the same management team, same great quarterback, and the same personnel. We've improved on it. So that was a great decision to keep DQ on board. And Dan's a phenomenal coach and leader. And certainly we've got to do more. We get it. We've got to get started quicker. We've got to do all those things. But, listen, man, we were just in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, a few years back.
Exactly. And we can get right back.
This team is still built to do it. Listen, Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, and now we've added the great Todd Gurley. You've got this young team coming back on defense. This team is still poised. The window is still open, to win that thing. So let's keep them together and let's see, can we make one more run at it? I'm glad they did.
Oh, we will.
I'm glad they did.
We will.
I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be talking so much crap because they hate every time I say the Falcons have a Super Bowl caliber team. They cannot stand it when I say that. So look, this man has played in the NFL, so I dare you to call me crazy now. I dare you to call me freaking crazy. I'm taking this all the way. I'm taking this. Look, what was your longest run? You said it was 80 yards? I'm taking it 80 yards down the field. I'm pulling a Derrick Moore. That's what I'm doing.
That's right. That's right. I love it. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Well, let's change the tempo a little bit. We kind of want to still go back into, what you're doing, off the field. We want to get into your writing. You are an author. So tell us a little bit about the book, The Great Adventure. And you mentioned another one as well. Just give us a little bit about that.
Well, I've had 3 books of great adventures. One, the other is Raise Them Up. And then there's It's Possible is a third one. I certainly think The Great Adventure has, it's a road to understanding the adventure that life is. Life is an adventure. It's going to carve open things you can anticipate and things you can't anticipate. Aren't we in that place right now? And yet we embrace that adventure though. And I use a biblical context to communicate it, is that, following our Maker, following God Almighty. And I always say it, Jesus Christ is my personal Savior. Yes. I believe he takes us on an adventure of a lifetime. And it's not all going to be rosy. It's not all going to be easy. It's tough. It's rough. The road's rocky. It's dusty. We ride the high wave and then we fall down low. It's in and it's out. It's pull and it's tug. It's all of those things. It's an unbelievable adventure is what it is. But the good news is that there is a destination. There is an end to it. There is a place that we ultimately want to end up. And the way you do that is by embracing all of these things that come with that adventure. And we survive it. So The Great Adventure is a book built around taking you from where you are to ultimately to where you really need to be. And all of us were born in one place, but we weren't built to stay in that place. We were built for destiny. We were built to reach and find our dreams and goals and aspirations. We were built to meet certain people, to have certain encounters, to go on certain ventures. We were meant to run and not walk. That's what we were meant to do. So that book is a go get 'em type book of grabbing your attention and taking you on a real ride.
Okay, so we can find those on Amazon, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will probably try to drop.
Yeah, I will put that in the description link. I'll put those in the description link of this video. So if you guys want to check those out, you can. But I have one question, and I think this is a question I ask all my guests, to be honest. Is what would you tell a younger Derrick Moore? What would you tell?
What would I tell a younger Derrick Moore?
Yes, sir.
I would tell him probably what I would tell my son. My son's 25 years old now, and he's out doing his thing in business, et cetera, et cetera. Is that I would give a young Derrick Moore no advantages. I would give him no information. I would tell him, I need you to experience it. I need you to walk into it. I need you to fall down and hurt yourself a little bit. I need you to make some decisions that I would hope are going to be positive and they're going to give you the outcomes that you're looking for. But that's not life. You're going to do some things at a certain age that we've all done. You're going to make some mistakes, so be prepared to embrace them. We just hope they're the kind that we can overcome. So I would tell him, no, it's your turn. It's your turn to go through what I went through. It's your turn to experience what I'm experiencing. I don't want you to run from it. I don't want you to be afraid of it. I want you to use your resources. I want you to use your training. I want you to be skilled in certain areas. I want you to learn from your mistakes. But I am not here to open the door and paint a picture for you to get you to where I wouldn't have gone and wouldn't have done. I want to see if you will avoid them. I want to see if you won't make the mistakes I made. I want to see if you will overcome the challenges that I didn't overcome. I want to see, will you go further than I went? Though that's what I would really tell him.
I almost shed a tear right there.
He got it. That's the
Hey, that hits home, but that's real right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
I
doubt.
absolutely love that. Go ahead, Mike.
So with that being said, I truly, and please don't take this lightly. For a guy like me who is to build anything from the ground up, I love every bit of what you said. We've struggled and we've done this for, again, this has been our dream from the very beginning since we met each other, Maggie and I, and like we've had that image and we've never given up. And the struggles is what made us. You know, where we are right now. A lot of people say, "Okay, Mike, you're doing YouTube and you're doing things that are great." I have people that come and say to me, and Maggie, she receives it. I'm sure you guys receive it also. But these young kids, they truly are watching everything that I do, and from a level of influence, the little influence that I do have, I have to be, careful about how I say things, how I do things, because kids are watching. Even when you think people aren't watching and you think your life doesn't matter, what you're saying right now, it doesn't matter. I truly believe that any person, it doesn't matter, if you're a celebrity or you've done nothing in your life. I think people are watching everything that you at all given time. So I appreciate you for joining us. If there's anything that you want to kind of end it by, give one of those.
We lost your sound. We can't hear you.
All right, Pootie time.
Well, I want to add what Atlanta Falcons Nation is. Well, what Atlanta Falcons Nation is, like Mike said, we have children that are watching, and like I mentioned to you earlier, we want to take this out into the community. It's not only just an organization for just the Atlanta Falcons Nation content and news. We just want to make sure the youth stays off the streets. We're looking to bring facilities for them to, play football and things of that sort. And we just want to bring that positive back into it, into the youth, because this generation right now, it's just a lot going on. I feel that they just need a bit more structure. We have teachers now that are, retiring because they can't handle them sometimes. So we just need to bring it back to getting discipline in these children and getting them back focused on being motivated and being inspired to be better for themselves instead of following with the wrong crowd. So that's really what's the purpose behind Atlanta Falcons Nation. So everybody make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and as well we have a YouTube channel that is in the making, but we just want to inspire so many people.
Well, I think Max wanted to say something about saying something at the end, my final words of something of that nature, or
Yes,
some type of inspiration of some sort. You know, I grew up as someone who listened to a lot of speeches, and I make a lot of speeches, and certainly to a lot of people groups, whether they are corporate organizations, Fortune 500 companies, athletic teams, whether it's a church organization or university. I've had the good fortunes of doing a lot of keynotes, and but of all the things I learned and that's moved me, and I hope I can remember it. I'm going to try and quote it. It's a poem called "I Can," and we're all faced with obstacles and challenges every day. We're battling, and we're in a fight. We've got our sleeves rolled up, and we're getting after it, and we've got dreams that are right in front of us. We can almost grab them. We're that close to them, and we find ourselves, not possessing them. And so, I always say that I was never the person that was the biggest or the strongest or the smartest, but somewhere along the way, I convinced myself that what I wanted to do, I could do it, and I had to convince myself of that without someone telling me that. But yet I had some people tell me that. And then there was a great poem I would say, if you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win and think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you're losed and you're lost, for out in the world, you'll find that success begins with a person's will. It's all in their state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, then you are. You have to think how to rise before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the ones who win are the ones who think they can. I was never the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the most talented, but the one thing you were never going to beat me on, you were never going to outwork me, you were never going to outclass me. Woo! And with those two things, you were going to be in a fight of your life dealing with me. And so to rise up, like we say it here in Falcon Nation, it takes a special something in somebody to rise up.
Preach.
When you are oppressed and depressed and suppressed.
All right.
When you can rise up in those situations, you truly have done something. And that's what it's about. Can we do that? If we can do that, look out. And for every young kid battling through those things, don't you ever tell nobody you can't. Don't do that you can't do it. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't rise up to the places that you want to go. Is it going to be hard? Yeah. You don't want nobody to give you nothing anyway. Don't give it to me. I'll earn it. It's going to mean more because of that very thing.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
I appreciate that. So, listen, I'd rather be here all night doing it. You know what? It's going to mean something because I put the sweat equity in it, and then nobody walk in here and hand it to me.
Oh, no. I worked hard.
Yes,
blood, sweat, and tears.
But they can also walk in and take it back. The stuff I possess, you can't take from me.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Woo. Okay.
Absolutely.
Church up in here. Woo. That's inspiration. That's why we needed you here. Just to hear that motivation come out of you. You just have such a way with words, and just I needed to hear that because you know, sometimes we are looking for the accolades and things like that, and a lot of times you're not getting that. So motivating yourself inside and you know, your personal achievements silently and winning is a bigger deal to me. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm doing great. I know I'm doing great.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We got the chat. They going.
Oh, the chat is. We got it going. I'm honored. I truly am honored. Guys, if you want to say some last words to Mr. Moore.
I definitely want to say some last words. It was an honor having you on the show. I think I can speak for all of us. You're welcome back anytime. You was preaching to the choir the whole time. You're very motivational, and I hope that the Falcons bring you back this season because we're gonna need it, man. They need you to get them pumped.
We need you. Yes,
we need you, man. You're definitely a leader of men, and it was definitely a pleasure having you on. I thank you for taking out the time to come on the show for our first episode. We really appreciate it. Go ahead, Kevin. You got it.
Oh, same thing Drew said. But at the same time, I appreciate you because you've taught us other things that we have to look at ourselves. And why? I still got the goosebumps right now.
I hear it.
Yeah. But like I said, we appreciate you and everything you've done. And like I said, rise up.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for having me. It's been a real honor. And when I was asked to come on the show, my chief of staff contacted me to share this opportunity, and certainly I was excited and to be on board. And we live in a great city, and we've got great sports here, great businesses here, great people, great leadership, and it's great to be able to come on and support whatever I can. So I appreciate it. And I'll be back. Certainly get me back sometime down the road.
Please,
and hopefully
come back.
We'll put together some videos for you this season and get our team all riled up and ready to go and our fan base. And
you can add me to the videos.
Let's go win us the Super Bowl this season.
I want to be in the video with you in the background with the sign.
That's right.
Yes, we would love to bring him back. Definitely. That's inspiring. We definitely do appreciate you, Mr. Moore. I don't know if we're going to continue on from this point because we do. This is still Red Cup Rants 2. So I don't know if you guys want to continue on, or are we shutting and closing out?
It's up to the man of the house.
Do y'all want to talk or not? It's Mr. Moore's a busy man, y'all.
It's up to the man of the house.
Hey, we can keep it.
Because I think we got people that want to keep the content going now. Mr. Moore, you're welcome to stay. But if we're taking up your time,
I've got at least another 5 to 8 minutes before I've got another segment.
Okay.
But I'll hang in here for a few more moments just in case someone wanted to ask a question or something.
All right.
I love it.
So yeah, I don't think well, since there isn't any more questions, I will say this. Again, I thank you for joining us and whatnot. And like I said, what we're trying to do here with Atlanta Falcons Nation is to bring everybody together, and because like I said, we've had the national media bash the state of Georgia. We're not just talking about the Atlanta Falcons. The state of Georgia, just when it comes down to the national media, they don't want to respect us. They don't respect us. Everything that we do bad is highlighted. Anything that we do good, it's ignored. So it's all about positivity and what we're trying to bring. And again, man, this is the reason why we reached out to you, because you're one of the most positive influences. Even at Georgia Tech, I had a friend who actually played at Georgia Tech, Darius Williams, and he is. I've heard some things about you, not just since you've done this with the Atlanta Falcons, but you're definitely an inspiration as far as just Atlanta, and continuously just doing what you're doing in the community, church. Like I've been watching a lot of your speeches on YouTube. You guys, if you need to see, you can go to his website. You can go to the description of this video when it's finished. But again, man, I appreciate everybody for joining us, man. This has been an honor for me. Like I said, man, I truly appreciate it. But guys, this is the end of the Red Cup Rants, and I appreciate it. If you guys are new to the channel, we'll have Mr. Moore back in the future. But again, man, I appreciate everybody for supporting me. I always remember where I come from, and I didn't have this in the beginning. I had to work hard for it, and now I'm here talking to one of the more influential people, people in Atlanta. So thank you, Mr. Moore, for joining us, and you guys, thank you for joining Mad Mike on Mad Mike Sports, as well as Atlanta Falcons Nation and Strictly Prohibited Network. So thank you, appreciate it.
Rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up.